whole separate cold calling schedule Wednesday and Thursday when I surround it around my new listings, or a buyer that needs to be in a specific area, right? It varies, but usually I'm cold calling some type of market from 9:30 to 11.
This video is brought to you by morethanrealestateagent.com, your number one source for real estate merch on the internet. Use code YouTube for 10% off your first order.
What's going on, everybody? It's your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, and we're coming to you today with another installment of the Blueprint Podcast. As you know, with every podcast episode that I drop, my objective for you as the listener or the viewer is to walk away with some actionable nugget that you can apply to your business on day one. And this episode is no different. I've got my brother here from Southern California, Mr. Ian Michael. How are you today, sir?
Man, I am beautiful, highly blessed, highly favored, and I'm just ecstatic to be on your podcast. Thank you for thinking of me, man. This is pretty dope.
Listen, man, I got to tell y'all a funny story about myself and Ian here in a little bit on the podcast. But Ian is an agent in the Los Angeles, Southern California area. He is a gentleman that he and myself have been aligned for a very long time in our previous brokerage, and we'll talk about that journey here. But Ian is, honestly, if I call myself your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, Ian is very quickly becoming my favorite realtor that I like to watch on social media, because he, like many agents that I try to talk through in the new normal of 2024 and beyond, is we have to get comfortable on video, because that is the only way that our current and future clients will begin to know, like, and trust us through the video content that we put out. So Ian has taken the social media and video like moth to a flame, and we're going to talk about his strategy, his workflow, and all that. But Mr. Ian, how are you this afternoon?
Man, I'm doing great. Complain. It's Friday. Which means nothing to us real estate professionals, because a lot of us work on the weekend. But it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling for it to be Friday.
Listen, Friday is just Monday times 5. Right. You know how they go. But so Ian, in your business, you do quite a bit. But I want to, for the listening audience here, I want to start from the beginning. Okay, talk through what got you into real estate. How long you have been actively practicing. And at the end, I want to know, I would like for you to share one interesting thing about yourself that people may not know about Ian. But talk us through what got you into real estate, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I always love this question. So what got me into real estate? Well, first off, my background is finance. I have an undergrad in business finance. And so before I graduated, I reached out to my professor, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm a young dude. I want to make a lot of money in this game. So what can I do? And so he said, there's two things you can do with a finance degree. You can either be a financial advisor. You'll make a lot of money over time, not immediately. Or you can be a loan officer and make a lot of money right now. So I was like, I don't want to wait. I'm trying to be rich now. So mortgage loan officer. And as I'm doing my deals, in the real estate game, I a couple of things popped up. Number one, I looked at my check versus the real estate agent and their check, and I'm like, damn, I'm on the wrong side. That's one part. And then number two, I'm like, yeah, these real estate professionals are able to sell real estate and make a little bit more money on this per deal than I did, and they actually get to see sunlight. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time I worked for Chase Bank, and they required us to be in the building, 8 hours a day, and low key, I have a attention span of a squirrel, so it just wasn't working out. So I hopped over to the dark side, the real estate agent side, and I haven't looked back.
And where did your career start in real estate? What brokerage? Where did you start out at?
Yeah, so I started off at a boutique brokerage called Nationwide Real Estate. So it's right immediately in my city that I was at. Then after that, I went to Keller Williams. Then after that, I went to EXP, and now we're here at Real.
All right, and EXP is where I met Ian. We shared mutual connections at the brokerage, and as I was watching Ian from afar, because for one, there's not a whole lot of agents, of color that are on social media that are really operating at a high level. And so Ian's content I found very, very edutainment, if you will.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, but I learned something in the process. He had his own show with another agent that was the equivalent of like Property Brothers and whatnot. And I thought, this guy is really, he gets it as far as the importance of social media. And so obviously we are both here with Real Brokerage. And so I'm sure, Ian, you all know my story watching this podcast and listening. But with Ian, I do want you to talk about what caused the pivot to Real Brokerage and how that has gone for your business.
Yes. So the switch over from EXP to Real, it was tough. It was tough. I struggled with it. I really like EXP. I like the model. Everything was good, but in my particular market, it didn't have the best name. So, for example, whenever I'm making calls to other agents, I'm like, hey, this is Ian Michael with EXP. Immediately, I got pushback. Immediately. They're like, oh, I don't want to join your brokerage. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm fine. I'm like, hey, I just want to see 123 Main Street was still available. That's all. That's all I wanted. And then some other stuff that popped up, which, I'm not allowed to speak on, literally. So, I started to look outwards. So, once again, I love the model. I love everything that it has to go with, but the actual name was giving me a hard time whenever I was operating, not only with my clientele, but just reaching out to other agents as well. So I started to look out. Then Real popped up, right? Actually, I can't even say Real popped up. I was introduced to Real by Real, I want to say, 2 years ago I was introduced by, one of my co-sponsors right now, Philip Kang. He's a pretty dope dude. And he was like, yeah, here's his business model, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, it sounds cool, but it's a little too new, right? I'm pretty sure you got a bunch of clunky stuff going on in your systems. Things weren't rolling. But, it wasn't for me at the time. Fast forward, I talked to him again, and I looked at everything. Once again, it has very similar models and structure like EXP, but it has better models, better structure. And it's geared more towards actual real estate practitionership, you know what I'm saying? Like actual selling real estate versus in my experience in my market with EXP, they're more so focused on bringing people in versus actually selling real estate. And of course, every market's different. I can only speak for mine. So Real became a great combination of both. Plus, it's more agent friendly. 85-15 split, no monthly fees, very low cap of $12,000. And me as an individual that wants to, help coach, train, and bring people to a great company, it was just a no-brainer. So I've been here and I loved it ever since.
I love that, man. And, ironically enough, and I joked with Ian about this, when I saw that he made the move, I was like, man, I said, I the only reason I didn't tell Ian, hey, I want you to take a look at the model was as a professional courtesy to the group that we were connected with. And I'm kicking myself now, but it's all good because I'm happy that you're here. And this is a hot take on this particular podcast is that recently, Miss Fee Gentry, who is a big time agent with EXP, started the Black EXP group, one of the largest groups out there catered for agents of color, has recently joined Real Brokerage. So the writing is on the wall. I think it's very powerful that you decided, Ian, to take your career seriously. And as you mentioned, a lot of times where you hang your jersey can really reflect on you, and it's through no fault of your own. Think about it with athletes, right? Playing for the Lakers and playing for the Memphis Grizzlies are two different ways of playing in the NBA. They're both in the NBA,
Yeah.
but the Lake Show, baby, you can appreciate that reference. Being in LA is completely different than playing for a team that does not have the best reputation, out there amongst other agents. Because at the end of the day, our business is very much belly to belly with other agents. I can't tell you, Ian, how many deals I've had where the conversation that I had with the other agent before they submitted the offer gave me the insight to provide to my client when they asked me between identical offers, well, which one do you like, Marvin? And I tell my experience with the agent. That agent is on top of XYZ with their buyer. They've already got them pre-approved. So although we cannot tell a client what offer to accept, they do lean on our insight, and other agents do as well. So I think that's very powerful. Now, Ian, I do want to ask, are you a solo agent or do you you run your own team, or are you on a team? Where's your business at the present time?
Yeah. So currently I have an admin, I'm saying, an assistant, and then I have a part-time agent. We're always looking to expand, but right now we have a small,
Yeah.
quaint team. I had a team at one point of like 4 agents, and it sounded good. It was sexy, but we weren't really productive. So I had to trim the fat a little bit. Now we're nice and tight and ready for growth in the right time.
I love that. And Ian and myself, if you're watching this and you're an agent in the California market, we would be happy to talk about a model that gives you the benefits of a team, without a lot of the bloat and restrictions and, for lack of a better word, cutting into your money. And that is the co-sponsor model. Ian is my designated VIP co-sponsor for the Los Angeles area. So if you're watching this channel and you're in California and you want to talk about alignment with myself and Ian, we do have that ability, and we currently have the bandwidth as of this recording to take on a co-sponsorship model with other agents. And I want to talk with you at some point throughout this podcast, Ian, on what that looks like for you, because I know you're a producing agent, I'm a producing agent, but that doesn't mean that you don't have value to add to other agents. One of the things that Ian is doing right now is he has a book club through one of the Facebook groups that we're a part of. And you want to talk about that? Because that was a really creative thing you had going on, and it looks like you do it on a weekly basis. Kind of talk through that, and it's broker agnostic, and it's just something that you're doing as a value add to other agents. Talk about that.
Yeah. So one thing about me is I love help coach people, train people, and just take them to the next level. Not just in real estate, just in life in general. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
my reach right now, of course, is real estate. That's my expertise. So I do have a book club that goes over a book that pretty much trains you to be $1 million real estate agent. So every week, I have a group. Every week, we go over the different sections on what that book says to train you to be $1 million producing agent. It's not a secret. It's literally in the book. It's literally in the book that we have right here. And what I love about it, once again, is that I haven't made $1 million in a year just yet, but it's coming soon. But a lot of these things that I'm looking into, a lot of these things that I'm practicing are in this book. So it gives me hope that it's real. It's just a matter of ramping it up, tightening new things, and then being able to take it to the next level. But yeah, thank you for talking about that. I love to help coach, train, mentor people, and the group's always growing. So if you guys are looking to even have an accountability, and side note, this is an accountability group also. This was really for me. Like even though I like to coach and train and help other agents, this is really for me, because at the end of the day, I still need to be held accountable too, no matter how many deals I post up. But yeah, it was just a great environment to be around that I created, and I love it.
I love that, man. I love that. And I hold the book up one more time for those watching, and I'm going to put the Amazon link to this in the show notes of this podcast so you can tap in. And I'll also put Ian's Calendly link as well, so that, again, you can talk about this book club if you just want to tap in with Ian and myself on a regular basis. And you're happy where you are, but you still want to get plugged in and get that knowledge and that information. That book is a gold mine. So you're absolutely right, Ian. Following the steps. The podcast is called The Blueprint, right? And I came up with that because I wanted to lay the blueprint of what has been working for me for other agents, and we're blessed to be a blessing. So that's amazing that you are doing that out of your personal time. You don't necessarily have to do it, but it's a blessing that you're doing that. So walk us through what your current buyer or your current client mix consists of. Are you solely focused on listings, Ian, or do you work with buyers, or a mixture of the two?
Yeah, I would say it's a mixture of the two, because number one, I love to work listings, just because I like to use my brain. I'm very structured, very organized in the aspects of like negotiating and how to leverage clients' property to get the most money possible. So I love listings. But what I also love to do is I love to help people create generational wealth from scratch. So I have a client, my ideal client is someone that buying, duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. That's my ideal client. So I love to work with those particular buyers. And then also, of course, people that are exchanging those duplexes, fourplexes for 6 units, 8 units plus. right? Once again, generating and creating more wealth for them and leveraging the current assets to buy more assets. So those are my ideal clients. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the first-time home buyers. I love those people I help those people as well. But my specific clients, once again, are people that need to sell a property to move to another, right? Listings. And then those who are in the investment space, live in investment or just offhand investment. So those are the two people that I serve the most.
I love that. And we know that, with the FHA, that's how I got into the investing game is my wife and I through an FHA loan program. It allows you to put down 3.5%. If you don't know, listening with the FHA program, you can purchase a home from 1 to 4 units. So as Ian is walking through helping folks that are in that lower end get to the bigger deals, imagine how powerful it is to say that I started my generational wealth journey by only putting 3.5% down on an asset. And don't let it be down payment assistance that's out there. So I didn't even have to put that down. And now I'm able to turn that flip into another flip, into another flip. And now we're taking down entire commercial buildings and apartment complexes. So it's a pretty powerful way to get going. And as you just mentioned, Ian, you work with everyone. And I always say, don't negate the small things. Those first time home buyers, we'll take them all day. But the goal is, of course, to build a network and a portfolio of clients that you're rinsing and repeating. You're helping clients, you're adding value, they're referring other clients to you. You're creating social media content. Those individuals feel like they know you and they reach out to you and they say, hey, Ian, that video that you did, at your one closing, I want to talk about that here quickly. Can you do something like that at my property? How has that been for you as far as like some of the clients that you've worked with and featuring them on social media, popping bottles, scaring the crap out of one of them at one point in one video? But, kind of walk through, is that something that you saw someone else do, or that was just kind of a creative way that you wanted to put a bow on it with that client experience?
Yeah, 100%. Of course, as my mom said, there's nothing new underneath the sun. There's nothing new underneath
Hello.
the sun. so rip off and repeat. You know what I'm saying? So I saw something. I saw another real estate professional do something like that, right? They have a welcome home video. They're celebrating them. They're popping champagne. They're doing this and doing that. And I just take that and I do my own little spin on it, right? So like my spin would be, I've never seen, especially in my market, not too many people have like welcome home balloons, right? That literally says like welcome home. So I'll do that for my videos. Of course, we do the champagne popping, but I like to do confetti popping. You know what I'm saying? Because it's loud, it's out there, it's obnoxious, and it's a lot of fun. Kind of like what you mentioned. I scare quite a few of my clients because I don't tell them. I walk they in the house, I'll say welcome home, and I pop it. And it makes for a great video. I have a collage of clients that are scared. Like, of course, they're surprised. I wouldn't say scared. They're surprised. I have a collage of clients that are surprised from the confetti pop. I'm gonna post that video pretty soon. But it's a pretty cool thing to do. And then it gets people hype and it gets people, it brings awareness for your business. So it's pretty solid.
Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you are a real estate professional, consider partnering with me here at Real Brokerage. Pay nothing per month, get a fantastic split, and you have the opportunity to build a business through revenue share and stock purchases. Book a call at the link below in today's video, and I'm happy to have a conversation on why I was able to grow my business exponentially by moving my practice to Real Brokerage. All right, back to the video.
No, I'm going to share it right now so you guys can see it. Though, if you're listening to the podcast, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Marvin Oria. And I'm going to share it right now. If you guys can see watching the video version of the podcast, this is the video that Ian did that literally scared the crap out of I love it. I'm gonna mute it just for copyright here, but look at the excitement here on their face. I mean, this is powerful here. Now, imagine one of the most stressful periods of a person's life, which is the purchase of real estate, the single largest purchase that most individuals make in their life. and walking into a home and a smiling realtor is there, beautiful balloons set up, all that jazz. And make sure you follow him, by the way, and let him know you found him for the podcast here. But that is what it's all about in this business. I think that gone are the days where you simply show up to closing and you think you just being there is all that you need to do for that particular client. You need to create an experience for them, because they could have realistically, and I'm sure you'll agree, Ian, these people could use anybody, but they made the decision to work with you, right? So why not leave them with not only a concierge experience, from contract to close, but putting that bow on it now that the dust is settled and they are now homeowners, and they see you and you've laid that amazing experience out for them to literally just kind of add a cherry on top.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you, and like what's some of the feedback from some of your clients?
Yeah, so it feels amazing. It feels amazing. Like I said, one of the things that I value in life is helping people, get to the next level wherever they're at. And then I just so happen to be, in real estate. So having people walk inside the house, being excited that they're able to share their journey. Like I said, even the first time home buyer, I just had a client that was like, yeah, I received a 60-day notice for my property, and you made this happen in 90 days. Like I was going to be on the street in 90 days. But, I met you, we talked about this, and now I have a home for me and my family. I didn't think it was possible, but now I have a home for me and my family. Like that's generational type of stuff, like generational altering type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be a part of it. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's a typical day like for you? And you wake up in the morning, from start to finish. What is a typical day in real estate for you? And I know you're a family man, you've got other things going on, but walk the folks through a typical day of how you maximize your business from a real estate standpoint, but also maintain, work-life balance.
100%. And I will say this, of course, every day is different. Every day is different, especially in real estate. Fires will pop up and change your whole schedule. And then as far as work-life balance, I think I've been in the game for 12 years, and I still struggle with the work-life balance. You know what I'm saying? I am a family man, so I have to provide for my family. So I have to do that. But also, you don't want to miss those precious times with your children. I have 2 daughters. They're 4 and 3 years old. So I have to find that balance of being there for them physically and being there for them financially. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I will say, I haven't figured it out, but hopefully I do. But a typical day, I would say, is I wake up early, either from 4:30 to 5:30 is what I wake up a.m. because I got to get my workout in. That's my medicine. That's what helps me keep me sane, right? I'll work out in the morning from 5:30 to, let's say, 7:30, 8, and I'm also prospecting at the gym. Like wherever I'm going, I'm talking to people at the gym, letting them know, hey, I'm a real estate professional. I can help you with real estate needs. So I spend a little more time at the gym than I need to, but hey, it's work, right? So I'll be at the gym, and I'll usually get into the office about 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. My first meeting is with my team, going over the pipeline, what does it look like, going over what we need to do as far as marketing, that type of stuff. It's really short, right? By 9 o'clock, I'm prospecting. So my first 30 minutes of prospecting is looking at my active pipeline. So my active listings, my active buyers, approved buyers, and then some of the listings that are, once again, either active or coming to market. Then I'll scale. I'll scale the market, see what's out there. If I have something from my buyers, I'll send it over to you, right? I have a top 10 list. Top 10 list of the most hot buyers, the most hot sellers. I look at that top 10 list every day, Monday through Friday from 9 to 9:30. Then it slowly goes cold, right? So I'll go cold calling usually from 9:30 to 11, something like that, right?
And who are you calling?
My cold call list is people that I'm looking to serve. So people that are that have duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes that are looking to exchange into more units, right? Make more money, right? That also could be just Monday and Tuesday. I could have a whole separate cold calling schedule Wednesday and Thursday when I surround it around my listing, my new listings, or a buyer that needs to be in a specific area, right? It varies, but usually I'm cold calling some type of market from 9:30 to 11. From 11 to 12, 11 to 12:30, it gets a little bit more warm. So I'm calling my SOI, my sphere of influence are usually on lunchtime, sometime around there. So I'll keep up with my folks around then. I intermittent fast. I really don't eat until like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't take a lunch. I do have a little downtime though, from like 12:30 to 1, and then I shoot content from 1 to 2:30, 1 to 3 sometimes, and then I take appointments from 4 to 6, and after that, I'm usually home at 6 o'clock, and ideally the phone turns off, but you know how that goes.
Of course, of course. I think, and that's a solid day, man. I mean, that sounds like you keep the main thing the main thing. You maximize the early hours of the day. I prospect as well at the gym. Usually, I'm wearing my Work Hard, Be Kind shirt. You can get it if you're watching. You can get it at the link in the description below, or some aspect of real estate swag I've got on, and I find that there are more people often than not that are interested in the number one question that I get from folks is, how's the market? And I don't really know how to answer that specific to what answer they're looking for. So for all intents and purposes, the market's always good,
Yeah.
And so, I'll talk about why it's good, specific to, the particular part of town that I'm in, and what's going on at the present time and where interest rates are. Because that's really what people want to know when you talk about real estate. And Ian, I'm sure you'll agree, when you're talking about real estate to someone who is a teacher, a veterinarian, all they want to know is, should they make the decision to sell or buy, will they be happy with the decision that they made at the end of it? And so I always let folks know, regardless of the doom and gloom news that's out there, now is still the best time to buy real estate. And you might say, oh, you're a real estate agent. Of course you're going to say that. No. Now is the best time to buy because home prices fluctuate, interest rates fluctuate, but ultimately getting into the home at the right time for you and your budget and payments is going to be where your generational wealth starts. You hear a lot of people talk about, Ian, oh, I don't need to buy a home. I can just rent. The numbers make more sense to rent. But I always say, if I need to pick up and move from Atlanta, Georgia to somewhere else, what assets can I liquidate that are going to allow that move, for example, to be as seamless as possible, in addition to my emergency fund and any other investments I have? Real estate. I simply sell my home or do a cash out refi or something, but it will allow me to get a lot more cash than I probably could get through any other vehicle that's out there. And you can't do that as a renter, okay? Your landlord can do it. If they sell to someone else and you're still the renter, you now become the passive income for another landlord instead of becoming the landlord yourself.
Right.
And what's your thoughts on that? Because I think that's a big mistake that a lot of folks are making, especially as rent's going up.
Huge, right? So to answer your question, when everyone says, "Oh yeah, when's a good time to buy real estate?" I always tell people the best time to buy real estate was 5 years ago, right? The next best time is today. Why? Because home values, they're not going down. They haven't gone down, the last 10, 15 years, right? So, I mean, buy now. Catch that wave. You'll be all right. Anyone that's bought in real estate, even at the crash, even at the bottom of the market, 2011, or I'm sorry, the height of the market, 2009, even the people that bought a home and kept their home from 2009 are up today. They're up. Property value is worth more. So buy real estate and hold. So yeah, I mean, I tell people that all the time. You want to be able to be in a position to be in power, right, financially. And what does that look like? Yeah, I mean, it looks like, biting the bullet, having a little bit higher mortgage payment today, at least in my area, having a little bit higher mortgage payment today, but in 5 years, 10 years, rent is going to surpass that. But guess what? Your mortgage payment has stayed the same. So we live in an era of instant gratification. We just gotta, instant gratification and wealth they're not hand in hand. They're not. You can either have instant gratification or you can be wealthy. It's very rare that you can have both at the same time. And I always tell people that.
Gotta play the long game. Gotta play the long game always. Now, if you're getting value from this podcast, please be sure to do me a solid. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, wherever, leave me a 5-star review. It's greatly appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and turn on the notifications, because I will only post content that I believe is going to add value to your day. as the viewer, and YouTube needs to know that this is helpful information. So the way that the cost for enjoying the value that you're getting today is simply hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel on YouTube. Now, speaking of YouTube, Ian, let's talk through your social media and your video strategy. As I mentioned early on, you took to social media like a moth to a flame. Why? What made you see early on in your business the value of social media video content?
Yeah, so it's pretty funny. Early on, so I've been doing social media. This is 2024. I've been doing social media heavy for about 4 years now. Heavy, right? And what happened 4 years ago? Shoot, COVID. COVID happened 4 years ago. So my business primarily before COVID was door knocking, open houses, cold calling, stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, we can't talk to people face to face. You know what I'm saying? COVID hit. So I had to transition, had to switch my business to be more so social media friendly. That way I'm able to reach not only just a few people, but the masses, from the comfort of my home. Now I've always made, videos to make myself laugh, and if I make myself laugh, then maybe they can make other people laugh too. But it was more so for myself.
Okay.
Even today, I make videos. I'm like, this is hilarious. This is for me. If you all like it, cool. But this is for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but as I'm rolling and I'm seeing the power of real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in 2020, the world was shut down. 2020 was a great year for me, real estate wise. Wonderful. All because of social media. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm not able to door knock. I'm not able to meet people face to face, yada, yada, yada. Like, I just hopped on the internet, and my style is, like, and you hit it right on the head, which means I'm doing something solid. Edutainment. So my thing is, I love to educate people. I love to talk to people about the process of purchasing, a home for your very first time, or once again, how to leverage that property to buy more property, to gain more wealth, or just talk about the home buying process in general in a fun way. It's pretty boring. People say, oh, this is escrow. What you got to do is a 30-day deposit, yada, 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 or this is a beautiful house. Look at the countertops. Look at the kitchen. Yeah, like, that's not my style. My style is, hey, look at this couch, and then I'll jump over it or something like that. These are some nice pillows. Like, something crazy like that, you know what I'm saying, to capture my audience's attention, because everyone is doing a lot of the same stuff on social media. You got to be able to do something that'll stand out. And that's what I take pride in. I take pride in, having the eye-popping or just even funny type of stuff to where, yeah, it's funny, but it's also educational.
Yeah, no, I love your content. Please, if y'all are watching and listening to this, go to his page. You're going to see how, again, informative but entertaining at the same time. And that's what social media is. I think some of the best pages on social media and best YouTube channels, of course, they're prank channels all day. No one's going to catch up with a Mr. Beast kind of person. But what I can do is take little things from Mr. Beast, little things from Ian, and add it into my own, wheelhouse of creativity, if you will, and then ultimately make it my own. But as you just mentioned, there's nothing new under the sun. And I salute to those 30-year-old knees that you got that you're able to hop over stuff like that. Because your brother, your uncle, I'm definitely not doing that. I can't do it any longer, right? But I think it's key to see what you like, see what you resonate with as a real estate professional, and duplicate that. Make it your own, because at the end of the day, watching Ian do that, but also seeing how he's informed about the property that he's touring. I think you had a video where you had a gentleman interview you, and I've seen videos like that where they ask millionaires, how much do they make or how did they become a millionaire?
Yeah.
Those kind of walk up to a person in the car kind of thing, and you brought that to your social media. And I told you in the comments, I'm like, bro, this is gold. I'm stealing this idea. Right? And so I think that it's important to, if you just got your real estate license, you don't have a deal, but you are usually around the age of 18 to 30 right now, or in your 30s, you probably came up around the time when social media really, really, really got popping, which is really now and then maybe a few years ago. And so you have something at your disposal called an iPhone, or God help you, an Android, that you can utilize, that has the entire breadth of human knowledge on this phone available to you, in addition to an amazing camera that you can create content, because we are in a very competitive market. Things are going to change in August with buyers, and that may affect a lot of us in this business that our compensation, we were used to our compensation coming from the seller. We're going to have to shift in our business in order to keep up. You mentioned that you had a mortgage background. So here at Real, I just got off a mastermind call with my partner agents, and we were talking with our lender partner here at One Real, and he was explaining the importance of real estate agents getting their MLO license, because now here at Real, you can be compensated and be fine with compliance on all sides of the transaction, both as the agent representing them and as the lender on the back end getting them financed. So making video content where you're talking about, different down payment assistance programs, but you do something funny or quirky in the middle of it, now you've kept their attention because they're looking to be entertained, but they're being educated at the same time. And that balance isn't easy, but Ian, you do a heck of a job on doing both. So kudos to you, on that. How has the feedback been, like in your social media and your comments? Obviously, when you put yourself out there, right, we all have our fair share of haters. I see a dumb comment on my YouTube channel from time to time. So how do you handle pushback, criticism, things of that nature when you put yourself out there for public consumption? How do you handle that, and what are some of the things you've seen out there?
Yeah. So I mean, you hit it out there, man. There's going to be haters, and no matter what you're doing, and oddly enough, the more successful you are, the more of the haters actually come out the woodworks. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
So my mentor told me that. He said, hey, you're not really doing anything until you got some haters. So every time that I post a video or do this, and that, I have someone have something negative to say. Number one, if I know them personally or I know of them, I'll take a look at them and I'll take a look at their life, and I'm like, oh, okay, I understand why you're sad or depressed or doing this and that. Like, it makes sense, right? I've never found someone super successful that's hated on me unless they're direct competition. But even then, it's still very rare that I have someone that's super successful hating on me. So I have that in my mind. Like, once again, if I don't have any haters, I'm not doing anything. And number two, haters are miserable in all aspects of life. So don't worry about that stuff. And not everything's gonna hit. Not everything's gonna be super funny. I have stuff that flops all the time. But you might have one or two videos, 3 videos, whatever, that go out there and actually do something. But you won't find out until you keep pushing out the product. So that's what I just keep in my mind. It's just just put it out there. Things are gonna happen.
Yeah, and you gotta keep shooting. You gotta keep shooting. Steph Curry didn't become Steph Curry because he takes shots some of the time. Steph Curry has become automatic because he takes shots all of the time. He can throw it off of the backboard, he throw it off the wall back here and end up hitting. I mean, he does, and you mentioned this at the onset about being a practitioner in your business. No one can deny the information that you're putting out there, the quality you're putting behind it, the information that you're sharing. For me, we all have our insecurities on camera, but I say, you know what, I push through it. I get better, I get sharper, I get faster. And I'm not necessarily trying to be all things to all people. I'm just trying to find my tribe, the individuals that get me, that, they might love all things Houston Rockets, or they might have an epic beard like you and I do, or they may, something about me resonates with them, and that's why they're finding me. And I just need to find more and more of those types of individuals that I represent where they would like to be in their business. And if they give me the honor of being, their sponsor or mentor or whatever, well, that's just icing on the cake, because I was going to do the work anyway. But I think that in 2024 and beyond, our clients, both current and future, are on the world's number 2 search engine, which is owned by the number 1 search engine, which is Google and YouTube. So the sooner that we adopt video into our business, the happier that we're going to be with the ROI, because heaven forbid, if another pandemic or pandemic happens again and we're not able to move around, you, Ian, have built up a cachet, a portfolio of content that people probably still continue to hit your DMs and send you emails. I got video content I did a year ago that still generates me leads to this day. Wow. I'm actually helping a family take down a multifamily right now. They're in the middle of pre-approval, and this is for content that I did day before yesterday. So I think that if folks don't adopt video and push through whatever preconceived notions they have about themselves, you're not doing your job serving the world, because we're meant to be of service to the world, and that's what you do on every video, Ian. And I would implore anybody watching to do the same. Any thoughts in regards to that?
No, you hit it right on the head, man. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
Just go out there. You have to serve. We have a fiduciary duty to our clients, and if we are not talking about what we know, if we're not spreading the word about the knowledge about our game, our expertise, and we're actually doing a disservice, like you mentioned. So we gotta go out there. It's not about us. It's about other people. So get it out there.
Yeah. People aren't there for you. People aren't there for me. They're there for the information. And as long as I'm the person that's serving that information and answering that specific question, that's the only job that we are obligated to do. So that's definitely something that I want more agents to get. So as we land the plane here, Ian, you got an agent. They come up to you and they say, Ian, I'm about to hang it up, man. I haven't had any sales, or I haven't done much business, and I'm just not seeing this real estate thing being what I thought it was going to be. What are some words of encouragement? And if you want to mix that with some level of a game plan, what would you tell agents right now, because of interest rates, because of whatever's going on in the world, that they're struggling in their business? What are some things that you would do if you were in those individual shoes to get you to the best place possible?
No, I love that, because I get that all the time. You know, we're coming to times where it's a very tough market, especially out here in LA. Literally in Southern California, there's over 200,000 real estate agents, literally in Southern California. So it's a very, very competitive market. So I just had a call earlier today. Someone's like, hey, you know, thank you for inspiring me. I was about to hang it up. And what I told them was, I said, the world needs you. Like, your family needs you. Your friends need you. And I said, you're a great person. You're very knowledgeable. You like to take care of people. And unfortunately, that's not very characteristics of a lot of people. So you're doing people a disservice if you're not going out there and operating as an upstanding real estate professional. Like, the only difference, the only what's stopping you from actually being successful is yourself. You're not working hard enough. You're not working smart enough. You don't know the right people. Well, you know the right people because I can connect you with the right people. That's off the chart. Now the other thing is, you know, you're not smart enough. You know what I'm saying, in the actual craft just yet. Well, I can help you out with that. That's easy. And number three, work hard. I can teach you how to work hard. I can't make you work, but I can teach you what you can do to work hard. And if all else fails, all you got to do is work hard. If all else fails, you don't necessarily have to be the most handsome. You don't necessarily have to have the greatest beard like Marv. You know what I'm saying? But if you're working hard, you're going to be successful.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that people, I think, that fail is they're just not working hard enough.
I love it. Yeah, no, I think people think. I'll be honest with you, Ian. When I close a deal with a client, at the closing table, I am completely spent. I mean, it's truly one of the most emotional roller coasters, especially when you're navigating a deal or the financing falls through. Like, it's not sexy, and I think people think because they see Ryan Serhant, they see others that are like big time doing it. These individuals, they have support systems, but before they have the support systems, they have to do the work themselves, build their business to a certain point to where they bring on, as you mentioned in your business, you have an admin. We have to have tentacles out there, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But this is a hard business, man. Yes, the upside is there. Yes, it's amazing when you walk away with that commission check. But man, it's hard. So it's not for the faint of heart. But for those of us that have a service mindset, for those of us, as you mentioned, that like connecting with people, being a problem solver, I can't tell you any other business that will literally write you a blank check. Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, Ian, knock it off. You're selling too much real estate, man. Stop. Nobody's going to tell you that, right? As long as you are able to handle the clients that are coming in, moving people through the pipeline, you know, doing the activities every single day to build that muscle that gets you to building generational wealth, not only for others, but for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think that people forget the fact that the easiest part of our job was getting the real estate license. I've never heard the word riparian rights since I got my license. I don't know about you,
No.
but the work begins, and it's a day-to-day thing, man. You take those breaks when you need it. You pause. You make sure that you keep the main thing the main thing. You make sure that your family's not struggling at home. You make sure that your friends and those that connect with you regularly, that pour into your cup, that you're not missing out on those opportunities. You got kids, all that stuff. But this job gives you the greatest upside and the greatest flexibility that I've ever seen in a career path, but it still requires hard work.
Yes.
Either you're digging ditches or selling houses. Either way, it's a lot of hard work. You, as the person, has to choose the kind of hard. And I'm not digging no ditches if I can help it. So, you know how that go, as the old folks say. But man, this has been. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
No, you said it all, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
But this has been an amazing nearly hour, man. Ian, I really want folks to double click and put a pin on this here. What are some takeaways that folks, can walk away from this podcast with? And then I mentioned earlier about what alignment with you looks like should an individual make the choice to pivot to Real Brokerage through our co-sponsorship program, having me and yourself as well as a support staff. But what does alignment with Ian look like in the California market?
Yes, so alignment means collaboration. It means business planning. It means structure. So whenever you are aligned with a great group like me and Marv, you're going to get the full 360 of real estate, which is, the real estate practitionership, the actual systems and models for you to be successful, and the game plan. So we're going to give you the script from start to beginning. We're going to give you the script. If you want to sell 10 homes in a year, I got the script. You want to sell 20, 25, 30 homes a year, I got the script. You want to sell 100 homes in a year, we have the script. Our network has the script for all that. So whatever you need, let us know. Because once again, if you're successful, then we're successful. Everybody wins. We are not in direct competition. We're not. Everybody wins. And I love that collaboration with our group.
I love it too, man. And the fact that you don't have to choose Marvin or Ian, you can work with Marvin and Ian. I mean, that's other brokerages. That's the thing I hated, because there's nothing worse than making the hard decision to choose one person, and that one person you chose ends up being a terrible situation. Because now, as you mentioned, when you prospect with other individuals and you mentioned your previous brokerage and they already came to a conclusion about what you, Ian, were, there's nothing worse than aligning with the wrong person, and then ultimately that souring your perception of the business. And here you have the ability to align with two individuals that I would hope you do your due diligence before you make the decision to make the pivot, but don't wait too long. Just like we talked about buying a home, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to join a great brokerage. Join a great brokerage and then wait, do the work, and then watch where your business goes in 6 months. So, like I said, I'm going to put my information and Ian's information in the show notes of this podcast, and let's have that conversation. Ian, how can people stay tapped in with you, man?
Yes. My most prevalent way to stay in touch with me, of course, is Instagram at It's Ian Michael. I'm on TikTok as well. I need to be better on TikTok. And I'm not on YouTube, not active on YouTube yet, so I need to study more of Marv's videos, and I'll get on YouTube. But the best way is social media. And by then you can get my phone number, email, all that great stuff. But yeah, that's the way you can find me.
All right, good. Then I will put Ian's information in the show notes of this podcast. Ian, I am sincerely humbled that you took time out of your busy day, 3 hours behind me here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I wanted to make sure that I'm super respectful of your time. Tap in with Ian. If you don't follow him. Let him know you found him through the platform here. And again, check the show notes for all of the details. The book that Ian is doing his current book club on, his contact information, my Calendly, his Calendly. And let's have that conversation if you're an agent looking for something different going into the new year. Until the next podcast, this is your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, signing off. Thank you again, Ian.
Thank you.
Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you are a real estate professional, consider partnering with me here at Real Brokerage. Pay nothing per month, get a fantastic split, and you have the opportunity to build a business through revenue share and stock purchases. Book a call at the link below in today's video, and I'm happy to have a conversation on why I was able to grow my business exponentially by moving my practice to Real Brokerage.